Today,
wake myself up.
good one, Sky. Today, on a three-man weave edition of the Cowboys Collective, we'll talk biggest camp surprises. Who's surprising y'all boys? Looming cuts. And we'll just talk to y'all and see what y'all want to hear and talk about. And maybe I'll make it to West Virginia. Let's go.
Vach ain't got no hoes.
John Machota, Skywalker Still, Vach Lombardi in spirit. Brother took a night off tonight. And myself, was the King. We love you all. Thank you guys for showing up a little bit late. I'm going to take this one on the chin. You guys will be with us all season. Y'all not going nowhere. We a staple in the community. Also, I want to say, John, Sky, can you give me some music? Because I want to talk about something that we just accomplished on this channel.
What's that?
But first, are you ready to? Are you ready to? And does my dynamic producer Nate in the back? Does he have the graphic ready for this? Because I don't want to have to pull it up. The fact that we made it to how many subs did we get on this channel now?
10,000. Wow.
10,000.
Shouts out to you, man.
On the greatest podcast in the world. Now I gotta show this graphic because if I don't, I think Nate back there is asleep. So if I don't show this graphic, they're gonna get on me. Plus, why didn't you show the graphic? So let me show this beautiful graphic that they did. Because I'm not gonna lie, that's an amazing feat, and I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, there it is. Boom. He already got it. Thank you, Nate. Thank you for 10,000 subs, y'all. We don't take that for granted.
No.
You guys got any favorite moments? Anything y'all want to say? Take a bow, John?
I just want to say thank y'all for making me be a part of this thing, or letting me be a part of this thing, because I came in kind of middle of it, I believe, or middle of that thing, maybe the end of the first season, but it's been a blast, man. Just hoping we can get 10 more K. Yeah,
I feel like you came right in and added to it. You, Vach, me and John are kind of last in the Mohicans, but we also want to shout out to AOC and Law, the members before, because at the end of the day, I mean, at the end of the day, like Cowboys Collective is just that it's a collective of creators, a dynamic writer, and the whole goal is to, let's be honest, to get you guys the information. And so give us claps, give us flowers, because honestly, I want to tell you guys thank you, John and Sky, the commitment, the showing up every day. I think that means the world, man, because this is rough. It's not when I say it's rough, it's you got to write. Sky has a show, I do content, and then you got to come in and we got to mix and match our ideas. So it ain't always easy. And
yeah, but we get to talk about the Cowboys, man. For me, that brings a little juice once we start getting into it. So it's all good, brother.
Cowboys. All right. Speaking of which, thank you guys again for 10K. Yep. And so, John, what's going on at the mothership? Well, a few more days at the not the mothership, but the camp ship. Yeah. What's going on over there?
Yeah, home base here for really this is the last practice was today, and then they leave tomorrow. They go to Arizona, and then on Sunday we'll fly back to Dallas, and then there will still be another week of training camp practices in Dallas. So it's not like training camp's over, just the California Oxnard portion is over. And so my biggest thing, so today, just to give you a little background, there were not fans there, so we weren't able to shoot video of team drills. But we were able to, I posted some stuff from individual and some other things before the practice started up. But yeah, I would say to me, there weren't a lot of things that really stood out from today's practice. I think the two biggest would be that there was a little scuffle between Overshone and Jake Ferguson that I thought was a good indicator of how these guys are probably sick of just going against each other and they're looking forward to going against someone else. But then the other one would be that we were giving Clarence Hill a hard time because he asked Brian Schottenheimer before practice about the good health they've had and how they've been able to avoid injuries. And so there were a lot of jokes about him jinxing that. And today had the most injuries of any of the practices we've been out here. Now, nothing that looks like significant, but James Houston left practice early. Jay Toya left practice early. And there were about 5 or 6 other guys that spent some time off to the side talking with the athletic trainers. And so I also believe that, let's see who else. Kelvin Gilliam, the other defensive tackle, also left the field, but nobody else that, and like I said, I don't think any of those looked very serious, but it was just the fact that there were probably 7 or 8 guys that had to go over to the trainers during practice, but they wanted to, this has been a practice that typically in years past has been a walkthrough. But I think the combination of their normal schedule and then the fact that they didn't get in as much valuable work as they wanted to with their ones against the Saints because of all the fights, that they wanted to get some more of that work in. So I think the thing I enjoyed most is I got to see about 3 or 4 snaps of Von Miller rushing off the left edge and getting past Nate Thomas, getting past Terrence Steele. So not on every play, but on a couple of them they did. And so there's a part of me, I'm like, well, Von, I can easily see how he looked good in their workouts, and they probably wanted to sign him. He's also fresh, he hasn't gone through training camp, but it was good to see him out there moving around. Did not look like he was slow, did not look like he was somebody that just came off the couch and has just been eating pizza all the time. Like he looked pretty quick. He looked like a player that can probably contribute to this pass rush. So
wow. Stay there, John. Don't skip past that.
But that shock you, Foots.
Well, so you know what it is, Scott? Let's stay right here. There was a mixed reaction. I was like, I'm good with Von. There was a lot of people just like he's washed and blah blah blah. I'm like, really? Okay.
I mean, how deep do you think that would be? Like them signing Taylor Decker, where you'd be like, yeah, his best football is behind him. What do you think they have depth wise right now? Like, that's the way I looked at edge rusher. I'm just like,
I would love.
Yeah,
Taylor
I mean, if you're going to get
if
you're going to get Von Miller to be one of your starting edge rushers, yeah, you're in trouble. But if he's going to be your 4th guy, like, I think that's fine, and that's what he is. And that first depth chart came out, and that's where he was. As a backup, it's him and Malachi Lawrence with the second group. But even though those are still considered ones, because they're going to get a lot of snaps playing on Sundays, and that's why Von Miller was working in with the ones today. So I like it. I don't see much negative to it, to be honest with you.
There's absolutely zero, because those people aren't expecting anything from him anyway, and most of us that are reasonable aren't expecting him to get 40 snaps a game. He mentioned 10 to 20 or something like that. He'll probably get 15 snaps or so, and it'll mostly be pass rush. And again, I said it the last time, just pop on the film. He can still win as a pass rusher. Can he win as quick? Can he win the same as he did 10 years ago? No. But, you look at the snaps he played for a 36-year-old, it was the most since 2022. He got home, obviously, right? And I don't care how he got home. And just look at the pressures as well. He was putting some pressure on the quarterbacks. Again, these were kind of middling numbers in regards to sacks and lower numbers in regards to his pressure compared to who he is. But when you compare it to what the roster is, definitely last year's roster, Von Miller definitely fits in well. And then there's also the leadership, which is just, I'm glad he spent a lot of time on it, because I've been trying to, harp about that in regards with him for a while. And this team in general, and the team is starting to realize how important that is. And they have a fantastic leadership council.
Rookie tight end DJ Rogers was the other player that left. Overshone came off the field for a little bit and then was running on the sidelines like he had maybe dinged up one of his legs. I don't know if it was an ankle, knee, whatever, but he was jogging up and down the sideline, sprinting a little bit, and then went right back in. So this wasn't even like go to the tent or anything like that. So, and he was right back in there. And so I didn't think of that as being anything of significance. But it was just funny to be out there with Clarence and just giving him a hard time, anytime, like, because there was even one time where CD jogged back to the locker room, which guys will do from time to time, usually to use the restroom real quick, or maybe to change cleats or get a different pair of gloves or something like that, if it's in between periods. So we were giving him a hard time about that. And so when he ran back out, he was then giving us a hard time back. But
leave it to Clarence after a quiet offseason. The first question he asked Jerry at the presser is, well, what about the 30-year drought? And then leave it to Clarence after a healthy camp. Well, what do you think about the health of your players? Come on, chill.
So I wasn't going to ask Brian that, but like, just to give you an example, like I got some of the stuff circled on here, but like, so before every practice, we get one of these, like, it's a roster, but it's broken down in all different ways. It's on the back, you got it in number order, and on the front, it's offense, defense in number order, but then also in the middle, they got it broken down by positions. And so part of our job is to take roll before practice starts, to make sure that everybody's there. Now, I will say with Brian Schottenheimer, he's been really good by telling us, like, hey, so-and-so's not going to be out there. That wasn't always the case in the past. Like, you would really find out when those guys ran out there, and you'd be like, wait, why isn't 88 out here? Where's 82? And then you'd have to ask somebody after practice. So anyway, with that being said, I did say to Todd Archer a couple days ago when we were standing out there, I go, this is, of all the training camps I've been to, this is the least that we've had to do. Like, wait, where's so-and-so? How come they're not out here right now? And that speaks to that they have been pretty fortunate in the health department.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if the trainers have stepped up. I don't know if they've I know Rashadi kind of talked about the schedule and the 4-on and stuff like that, and maybe everybody's getting used to it. So
other thing that's helped too, man, is a lot of these practices, I'd say almost all of them looked like the Rams practice where they were thudding, but nobody was really going to the ground. Now, there was a little bit more of that today, and so I don't know if that's coming off of, like, again, then there was the little dust up with Jake and Overshown. I don't know if it's hey, we're getting into the 4th week here. There's some frustration there. But the other thing is, too, is now you got 4 weeks on that on those 2 grass fields, and they were starting to get a little worn, too. So, I mean, they're leaving at a good time, too. Because I will also say, comparing it to my previous camps there, this is the best the grass has been. And every year I feel like we get there, it's better and better every year, in terms of them taking care of it and keeping it up. Because, I mean, these guys are ripping it up pretty good, and so they try and rotate fields as much as possible, but you still need to get the work in and stuff. So I think that part of it has been that there haven't been a lot of those plays. There were a couple today, but there haven't been a lot where you see an offensive lineman on the ground rolling into another offensive lineman's legs, things like that. They've been able to avoid that, which is obviously good when you don't have great depth on the offensive line.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. We're getting a grass report on the Cowboys Collective. You can only get that with John. John, the coordinators talked.
Yeah.
Do we have any thoughts about that? Because I have a few, but did anything stick out from either coordinator, from both of you guys?
The one real quick with me, just because we had talked about before on the show, is that Christian Barker was never going to be up in that booth, and now he can say it because of the fact that they wanted to kind of keep it under wraps. Just like I'm really confident. I would bet a lot of money on Joe Milton starting on Saturday, playing the entire first half, Howell coming in the second half, him playing the entire second half, just a flip of but they won't even say for certain, but I'm pretty confident that's what it'll be. But so they didn't want to say what Christian would be doing. But then now that he did officially call a game, even though it was a preseason game, and then asking him about it the other day and the way he responded, I thought that was pretty funny. That, yeah, he clearly wants to be down there with the guys. And if you're at these practices and you see even like today when there's not fans there, so it makes it even easier to hear, he likes being near the action like that, and so I just thought that was kind of interesting out of things he said. But the only other thing I'll add on that, and you guys can go, is just that every time he talks, I always say this, and I don't even care if it sounds like a broken record, but like every time he talks, I'm always like, oh yeah, I can see how he won over the interview process. I can easily see, like, he never hesitates on an answer. He never says anything that like makes me like second guess, be like, man, I can't believe he said that. Is that really what he wanted to say? And I've definitely heard that with a lot of other coaches over the years. So, I hate to say prepared beyond your years, because then that makes me feel like I'm saying something about him being in his early 30s. But I feel like when I'm saying that, I'm saying it in prepared beyond your that he's never been a defensive coordinator, not in college. So there's just a lot more on your plate. And then actually that ties in the other thing was him just talking about how little sleep he gets, and that's a lot of coaches that are like that, man, that they're obsessed with their craft and they want to find every little edge they possibly can get. And clearly that's in his DNA.
Yeah, not too much for this go round for the coordinators, but it was good to hear that Clayton Adams did acknowledge that, yeah, Terrence got to step up. He's been inconsistent, and that kind of follows what Coach Shoddy said, I think, the day before. So, at least, because I always talk about it with coaches, man, sometimes you can motivate through the media, and we know that's what Bill Parcells used to do. We know Phil Jackson used to do things like that. So I think they're probably talking about it in the meetings, and now it's being talked about publicly, and we'll see if it can light a fire up under them during the season, because I don't think anything is going to happen prior unless they go out and get an upgrade. But it was good to hear them kind of bring that to light, because we've been seeing it.
Yeah, I just second what John was saying. Listening to Christian, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's going to self-correct very, very well. He's going to be prepared. I actually am very interested to see when he starts game planning, how he makes guys play left-handed and, and stuff like that. The other thing that I notice about him, every chance he gets, he's smart. He'll be a head coach. And he bigs up his staff. It's always Ryan Smith.
2 years,
it's always, I know. 2 years. It's always Ansley and those guys and the staff and the staff and the staff. And that stuff, it matters. Like, you have a whole fan base hanging on your every word. And it's it's really, he's really well spoken and it's really good. Okay. I saw a few people, and I can't wait to pin this super chat, because I have some thoughts about like training camp stuff, and I was talking to Cody about like one-on-ones and all this type of stuff. But let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into a few of our training camp surprises. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be more than one. John, I'll start with you. Who's an offensive training camp surprise? Again, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be more than one. But who has surprised you this camp?
All right. So I thought the most interesting answer out of Brian Schottenheimer's press conference this morning was the very last question. Nick Harris asked him for the 5 players that exceeded his expectations. And I really like the question, because it's a perfect question for Nick to ask, because like myself and like Clarence and Calvin and Todd, we probably aren't asking that because we're so used to like Jason Garrett not giving us anything when you ask that, Mike McCarthy not giving anything. But Brian answered it, because a lot of times they don't want to do that because they don't want to leave somebody out.
They don't want to list the whole team.
Right.
That's what Brian said.
Brian had the roster up there, and he took some time looking at it. And
Wow.
so before we get into ours, I'm just going to read off the names that he said. Also, it's funny that he did more than 5. And so I think it was on Nick Harris's tweet. He was saying that someone immediately responded. Brian didn't want to give 5 out of respect to Jaden Daniels. But anyway, sorry. Here we go.
That troll is crazy.
That is
all right. This is in order of what Brian said. Caleb Downs, Rashawn Gary, Otito Ogbonna, Savone Ravel, Jonathan Mingo, Camden Brown, Tyler Guyton, Javonte Williams, Ryan Flournoy, Brian Anger. So those are the guys that, to him, have exceeded his expectations.
Flo do look good.
Yeah.
Really
Flo,
good.
Yeah. Really
Flo
good.
look good, man.
Yeah.
Really
And so if you talking about, so I love the question of exceeded.
Yeah,
Not just, who was a surprise? I mean, you could throw all the Camden Brown's the obvious one, right? Like that's the obvious biggest surprise. But I love the question of who exceeded your expectations, man. And look, Flo already came in with high expectations after his year last year. We're putting a lot of expectation on him, and to see in camp, not to hear it, but see him just look. He looked like he's a future 1B for somebody at the least. Like, man, he ain't gonna be here, but he looked like he the future 1B somewhere, man. And I love to hear that Flo was
because Brian did that, though. It made me take this roster and circle one guy in each position group that have exceeded my expectations since the start of camp. So do you want me to read them off, or do you want
to? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Quarterback for me is Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm.
Running back, Israel. I think it's Abinkanda, but in the pronunciation guide, it's Abnikanda.
I'm pretty sure
there's like a long like there's a double E, but we've been calling him Abinkanda. But Israel Abinkanda, he has been Abinkanda. He's been a guy that just, you're not really looking for, but you just notice him. You're just always like kind of like, oh damn, who's that working? Oh, 30. Nice run by him. So I will say though, even with that, me saying he stands out here and there, he's not on obviously not in the depth chart. I wouldn't have him over Javonte. Like if I'm doing my 53 right now, I wouldn't have him over Javonte. I wouldn't have him over Jaden Blue, and I wouldn't have him over Malik Davis, and Hunter Lipke. So if they're only keeping 4 running backs, I don't think he's making the roster, but he has been a guy that has been noticeable throughout camp. Wide receiver, obviously, it's Camden Brown. Tight end was the toughest one for me because there's been moments where it's been Trigg. There's been moments where it was Rodgers. And even some of these recent practices, Luke Schoonmaker catching the football has actually impressed me.
Saw that.
So there's not really one that I can say has exceeded my expectations. I don't think any of them have been bad. There hasn't been there's been moments where I thought Brevin looks really good. There's times where I'm like, damn, Jake's making some nice plays and stuff like that. So that was the only one where I'm like, I'd probably give it to Trigg a little bit, but he's got the injury. But I also kind of had expectations that he would do some stuff. Offensive line, could not agree with Schottenheimer more. It's Guyton. Same thing when he said Otito Abonia. Same thing. I did not think that. I don't know. And Brian's basically said this too, where you thought he'd be kind of a depth guy or whatever, and now they're like, oh no, we can count on this dude. He's gonna play a lot. Outside linebackers, same. Rashawn Gary. Linebacker, sometimes it's overshown, and it would no question be Barham before the injury. It just we haven't been able to see him as much. So I think I'd say Barham because I didn't expect him to make as big of an impact as he did, but Overshown's right there. And in the walk-off after Brian was done, he was specifically asked oh, well, why didn't, was there something that Overshown did? Why didn't you mention him as one of the players, whatever?
See,
and he was very complimentary about DeMarvin. He's like, no, he's absolutely one of those guys, blah, 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 whatever. But I don't know. He's been kind of a lightning rod name. A lot of people were surprised that he wasn't on the leadership council. So, and then last,
Overshown.
Yeah. And then last is, defensive backs for me. It's Savone Ravel.
Sky, who been some surprises and who's exceeded for you?
Exceeded. I exceeded. I think Revel has exceeded. And I hate to copy off a coach, but so many names here. I think him coming into camp, I was just looking for small steps. It looks like he's taking deer type of leaps and bounds, man. You ever see a deer when they jump, bro? They can get up. And that's exactly kind of how he runs out there, He's not a deer in headlights, but he can run like a deer. And to see him take this leap, the reason why I want to point it out is because if we could have a guy who, I'm not saying shuts down ones or anything, but who makes these wide receiver ones have to battle, that is going to be massive going into this season for this particular scheme, because now I can play off of that and do some other things on the other side. Or CP strikes me, Coach Christian Parker strikes me as a guy who he'll do a call back to Bill Belichick. Oh, that's your wide receiver one? Bet. I'm going to take Revel and shut down your 2, and I'm going to double your wide receiver 1 with my other guys. I can see him doing something weird like that. So, but you needed a guy that you can feel confident to be able to do that week in and week out. Obviously, Savone has to go out there and prove it, but it was always, they called him the wild card in that room. Because if he could take that step, it would make us feel a lot better about the room going into the season. Because for me, with Bland, it's going to be the season where he has to show it for me because of the foot. But Durant, we can stick to that group there. Also, a guy I think that has exceeded expectations, man. So those two being on that list is huge for this CP team or CP defense.
Yeah, no.
Hey, can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but there's a bit of an echo. Yeah, not you, but.
No,
I can hear my echo. Yeah.
I think that I thought my mic came unplugged. Real quick, a lot of people going after Clarence. I'm telling you, he really does not hate the Cowboys. He's just beaten down because he started covering a team in '97. So you got, for the young folks, just tune out for a second. But for the older folks, it's not that hard to realize. If you start covering the Cowboys in 1997. You thought you were getting some Super Bowls for sure. And so some people joke and say he's the jinx or whatever like that too. But he really doesn't hate the Cowboys. I know that.
And he says that a lot. And I totally get it, Clarence. I don't know who his team was prior to being a professional in this industry, but
he grew up in Texas. I mean, if you grew up in Texas, you're a Cowboys fan.
Okay, I was about to say, because if you cover the team since
Tony
97,
Dorsett, he loves Tony Dorsett. And all.
Some of us been fans way longer than that. So that don't mean you gotta. I mean, we're all jaded to an extent, right? But yeah, Clarence be on some stuff sometimes. He know it.
Yeah, he leans into it, and it's he's it's been times when he's asked, well, do you not want to put too much on a rookie? Like, he is still a rookie, and he says like, no. And talking about Caleb Downs, like, no, Clarence, we know. Like,
there's a bit of an echo here. You, John, you
hold on, let me sign out and get back in. I think I messed up.
Okay, let me see if it 2. Yeah, it's gone. It was definitely John.
Usually,
yeah, but I mean, there's times when I have a thought too.
It's funny to me. I don't take it seriously.
Never,
a lot of people
never.
Clarence is like a funny old head to me, so I laugh at it. But I can see where some people who are more serious get upset with him. But yeah, and then there's the whole people don't like who Clarence is outside of sports, so they hate that. That's a whole nother discussion.
That is if you don't like the person, you probably just want to mute him on Twitter if you don't believe in his political and all that.
Believes in,
Are we still talking about Jill?
Yeah,
unfortunately, but yeah, what's your surprise, Foot?
No,
the other thing that nobody will care about but me on this pod, but man, he makes the job fun though, because there's always just he just brings a lot of entertainment behind the scenes. So there's a lot of moments in this job where you're sitting around waiting for things to happen. Like a big one is the combine. You can sit in these lobbies for hours, hoping that you're going to run into somebody or whatever. And it's good to have some people that keep you entertained. And
so I just said, he funny to me. He like the funny old head uncle.
Oh yeah,
But a lot of people that are not into to being silly or funny a little bit more serious, they don't like him. I get it.
Yeah. I think people too just have to realize there's sports and there's sports take and then there's people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you can't hate a guy because if you don't agree with something he says, I don't care. But I know a lot of people will want to. It just don't be that deep for me.
The other thing is too, he is a really good dude. Like, he wouldn't give you the shirt off his back. Like, he is not you come across some people in this business that you're just like, it's easy to root against. Like, you can just tell they're just to stir it up and make everybody else's life difficult. And that's not him at all. But I also, I follow him on social media too.
I get it. Yeah,
he stirs it up. Yeah.
Me and Scott talk about this all the time. For me, if you don't know how I think, sometimes on Twitter, I'm probably not for everybody too, because I get a little trolly. I like to have fun. That's all. That's me. I don't care that much. John, Sky, my biggest surprise, man, I knew 13 was good. I did not realize that the Cowboys are going to be able to weaponize him earlier than I thought, right? Because you always say, well, okay, is he going to hit a rookie wall? Is he, and maybe he will in season, right? But for this scheme, the things that I've seen, and this is why I'm glad I get to address this, because I saw somebody in the chat say, can we not put Caleb Downs in the slot? Oh, you want to put Caleb Downs in the slot. Like, people got to understand. And I was talking to Cody Alexander about this, and I was thinking this too. I don't care if it's my team. I don't care if it's, when you're doing one-on-ones, it favors the receiver. It just does. When you're doing these team and there's no sacking the quarterback and we're not looking at the rush per se, like, you're taking things from it. But if you see a guy like Caleb got beat by Chris Olave, and I don't care. Like, he's still shown so much that the way he's able to, he could be your dime linebacker right now. Like, he could go in an NFL game and be your dime linebacker. A lot of kids coming out of college just wouldn't know the fronts, wouldn't know the fits. Caleb is the real deal. My other surprise, I'll just be honest, I'm surprised that the Cowboys still don't have real clarity at the running back 2 position. This is something that me and Sky have talked about today. We talked about that the other day off show, and it's just like, all right, this offense is gonna be good. I think we know that, but you could see a ticking time bomb. 1, something happens to Javonte, and 2, if you get to week 15, week 16, you just like, man, I don't know if Javonte still got the same amount of juice. And so, Scott, you brought up a good point about guys like Mike Washington, and I'm really hoping that this next preseason game, there's a little bit more to give me just excitement because, we'll definitely talk about the offensive line. They need to block better. I need to see something out of running these running backs. I'm surprised that they haven't. That's the one part of the offense where it's just like being able to weaponize the run game. It does scare me a bit.
Yeah, I think it's the same as last year. I really do. I think that
same.
if the season starts, I think Malik Davis would be your backup, and that's
different.
That's where you want Jaden Blue to win the job. But if he doesn't win the job, they're not just going to throw him out there. So yeah, I don't think a lot's changed from last year. The way the season ended, I think we're in a similar spot.
So you guys are about to hear me repeat something tomorrow when the show drops, but I feel like I have to talk about it right now. That is technically different than last year because last year Malik Davis was not a part of this team. And I think Malik Davis, we all feel comfortable that he can be Malik, a steady Eddie number 2, not necessarily he's dynamic or anything, but a guy that, okay, we're trying to figure this out, but Malik can at least give us something, right? I think a lot of people, or I'll speak for myself, Miles Sanders, I was like, I did not see it. Like Malik Davis's film in 24 was better than Miles in 24. Malik's in 22 was better than Miles in 23. Like I just didn't see it anymore with him. So that was weird. And we didn't know about Javonte. We know about Javonte and we know what Malik is. And then there's the battle to kind of figure out who's going to have that, what I believe is a specified role. Here's my issue with after Javonte Williams. It's not even just about the players. I just don't know what their plan is. I feel like most teams that do know their run game, it's either we have a workhorse, we have a 1-2 punch duo approach, or we have a committee. The Cowboys have been all over the place, in my opinion, with their actions of what they want to do. Oh, we're going to see what the young guys got. Malik's over here. Jaden Blue, we want him to be a big part of the offense, but in what way? Because I don't think it's in a traditional RB2 way. But we're trying to get Phil Maffa going to do what? And Phil Maffa's not really showing much because he gets hurt, he gets nicked up and things like that. So what do you want to be? If you wanted to be a 1-2 punch, a duo type of team, then you should have took that too serious. You shouldn't have played around with these guys that obviously you didn't have faith in last year. And another one was more of a specialty back. And you didn't take the too serious. So now you got fans fighting about a guy who's been on 5 different football teams in the last 3 seasons as Israel Abanikata. So we're like, come on, Israel. We're talking about a journeyman because they didn't take that serious. If you want it to be a committee approach, well, we have to act like that, right? Now, maybe behind the scenes they are trying to get Jaden Blue in the screen game and perimeter, things like that. But right now we don't have the traditional number 2. They're still figuring that out. So to me, it just feels like, what is the plan here? If the plan is just Javonte or else, that plan is it's a thin ice plan. Because if he gets run down by the end of the season like he did, we could be right back in this thing going into the playoffs, relying on a guy who doesn't have a lot left on his tread and hopefully, whoever RB2 is, they reveal themselves to be not dynamic in a way, but reliable to the sense that, hey, man, this guy can go in there and make a defense pay in week 20.
Yeah, I think if it went the way they wanted it, then Jaden Blue would be the 2. And so maybe it wouldn't be a 1-2 punch type thing where they get even carries, but that would be their complement to Javonte. And if he gets in a game and he's running the ball really well, maybe he takes a couple carries away from Javonte, but Javonte is going to be their guy, but they really want to see more from Jaden in it. I mean, at times it's happened out here, but then at other times just like, yeah, I mean, I think he'll obviously be on the team, but I don't know if he's going to give you something every single week. And that's a problem because if you're going to have a 1-2 punch, you need that every single week. It can't be, yeah, he'll help us here. And then 2 or 3 games go by and he's not really playing. That's not a 1-2 punch. They need more from him. And he is a great compliment for Javonte. So that is their plan. But I don't know what would be next. There's not another Corbin. They're not going to. I don't see them keeping Jayshon Corbin. So the compliment is Jaden Blue. So I don't know. He's got to run with it though.
The point I was going to make was the way Javonte plays is exactly why you have to figure this out because this ain't Bijan or Gibbs where they trying to run around you. And those guys are pretty physical. Nah, man. Javonte wants to run into crowds and run through crowds. And early on, bro, he has some long runs. He's still kind of slow. He gets walked a lot, but he has some long runs where you're like, man, okay, Javonte, like he could do it. But as the season went on, and only reason why it's concerning me is because if you want to make a playoff push, and if you want to really be taken serious in the playoffs, passing game is cool. You want to lean on your weapons. But at a point, it becomes mono football, and you need to be able to run the ball. We've talked about this for a while. Settling Dak down in moments could be just sitting on the ball for a little bit and making sure that you have a run game that you could weaponize and that these guys have to adjust to. You know what I mean? You see so many too high shells and so many light boxes. Well, if you got a run game that these guys, and it helps your offensive line, you have a run game that these guys respect, there's nothing they can do. You know what I mean? They can't double CD. They have to choose and pick their poison, or you'll just gash them in the run game. And so that's kind of like
you've been one-dimensional in the playoffs since 2018 against the Seahawks. You've been one-dimensional since. That can't happen. So You're right. You know, we gotta, first of all, we gotta get there. And second of all, you got to make sure you're a balanced team, and not just by words or stats in the regular season, but actually be balanced once you get there. So
no, I completely agree.
I think you could win a playoff game leaning so like majority on the passing game, because I do think you'll have enough weapons, but I don't see a way where you make a deep playoff run doing that. Like there's going to be at least a game or two in there where you're going to have your run game be a big part of it, and especially if one of those games is, in cold weather somewhere. And to your guys' point, like I don't know if a beaten up Javonte Williams late in the year is the best recipe for that. So, it's been we go back to when we did these pods during OTA and minicamp. I would say he would be the one guy where I'm like, man, if he went down, I don't know, they would be in trouble. I mean, their hand would be forced. They'd have to make a move trying to probably get another runner from another team.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I watched the Bears weaponize Kyle Monaghan, a 5th-round pick, in moments where it's like, nope, Caleb's playing sporadic. Let's just hand him the ball. And he was hitting it and doing what he was supposed to do. So that's why I'm just like,
if you listen to Shoddy, I think they have a plan in mind for a role, and they want it to be blue. Because on Monday he was like, yeah, we showed our 8-iron. We didn't show everything. We said we didn't have perimeter runs called up, meaning they purposefully did not use blue where he is best at, and that's at the perimeter and in space. So it's just going to be up to him if he can even play. I don't know, John, what's going on this week. But him to kind of just show them enough to, all right, now we can try to implement this thing early, get him going early and figure out a role. If not, then they're going to have to, I don't think they're going to cut him, but they're probably going to have to find somebody else to take that role on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Let's talk about Prize Picks, y'all. You guys see the plays on the screen. Oh, that's the 2-man. Why did I say 3-man? It's only the 2-man. No, I messed it up again. There we go.
Man, Travis Kelce.
Let me see. I'll blow this up real quick.
Yeah, you got it. Sky, you can see it.
Yeah. I just had to blow that thing up on the screen. Here we go. Jamar Chase 1324. That's a hefty number, but I'd go more on Jamar. Whatever Jamar Chase is each year, more. This is how I look at it.
Yeah, love Jamar Chase. Really love him.
Is that an Eagle?
Uh-oh.
Bless.
I don't even know if he gonna play it down. He hadn't practiced. Malachi Lemon.
Kelce 670 foot. Did they go out and get another a bunch of wide receivers I don't know about? More. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I mean,
oh,
sorry, John.
Lost everything.
Oh shit. There we go, John.
I mean, 1,200 for CD, man. I mean, how many do you think George is getting?
I can see a world where they both. Remember, CD had over 1,000 and he would miss a game or something like that. A couple games.
Yeah,
games,
but that was pre-George.
Yeah,
and this George that we're about to see looks like the best George that
we're gonna talk
game
about
has ever seen. So that's
sure, but George don't need 105 receptions to get 13.
No, he doesn't. But
okay.
But if you tell me that CD is getting 12, if George is playing 17 games, I think he's getting more than that.
That's fine if George gets more, but CD can.
Also, I just think the defense can be a lot better. That I just don't think that they're going to be
there you go.
chucking it like that.
I think that's more important than George Pickens, because they knew George Pickens was George Pickens after 3 games, 4 games, whatever it was. But he liked that, which they probably already knew before most of us did. He's like that, yeah, okay. So they started to target him more, and then CeeDee Lamb came back, and they both was doing their thing. But the defense hopefully doesn't allow 2 1,400-yard receivers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that.
Definitely, that's a lot of shootouts, huh, Sky?
Exactly.
Definitely ain't trying to.
And then can't forget about Flanoy.
Can't forget about
Flo. Yeah, only one ball go around. Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun on this offense. Prize Picks, play $5. You could possibly get $150 if you win. More or less, Prize Picks has all you need. Love these plays. Thank you, Prize Picks. Use code HM8.
Take that Javonte Williams, by the way.
Yeah,
what's that at?
$9.49. Take that. More.
Ooh, I'm not mad at this guy. Hey, John, you said something about George Pickens. Let's stay there for a second.
Okay.
I asked this question the other day on Twitter, and has he been the best player at practice?
Yeah.
Has he been the best player at camp?
Yes. I'm looking this
I know that John laughed. That's and it's not close.
Yeah, it's not.
Wow.
I'm looking this up real quick because we were talking about this the other day. Oh, damn. Okay, never mind. That's crazy. All right. How many games do you think those Cardinals won in 2008? So that's the last time that a team has had 3 1,000-yard receivers.
They had 3 1,000. That's the 2008 team that went to the Super Bowl, ain't?
Yeah.
Where my mods at?
Anquan Bolden.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yep.
What was the third one?
Steve Breston.
Wow. Good one, John.
Yeah, I believe it, because they didn't have much of a. I think that wasn't the edge.
I mean, Breston just barely got there at 1,006.
Who was their running back that year?
Bolden was just 1,038. I mean, just barely over. Rushing yards was it was kind of a split, but it was Edgerrin James, Tim Hightower, J.J. Arrington. Okay. But I forgot that they went to the Super Bowl that year. But yeah, they went 9-7 during the regular season.
I didn't, because I was around a bunch of Pittsburgh folk. And I was the only one rooting for the Cardinals. And when Larry Fitzgerald scored that touchdown, I was talking so much shit.
Yeah.
And then Big Ben did what he did, and I felt like an idiot. But yeah.
Yeah, Santonio Holmes. Yeah. He's been the best player. I mean, and it's been noticeable that we talked to him briefly today, and he's just having a different camp than he did a year ago. And you think of, it wasn't like he was bad last year in camp. And then once the regular season started and the way he, fit in, and now that he's got a full year with Dak together, there's just a lot more there. And obviously, if we are talking about this, all their opponents know that. And so maybe it's setting up for CD to have a monster year, because I could see teams early on being like, no, we're going to let CD beat us. Like, we're not going to let George Pickens just catch these deep balls, single man coverage, and that we're going to have to double him all the time. And so I know that there are ways you can try and take them both away. That's easier said than done. You got to have the players to do that. But, CD's camp has been flying way more under the radar, and he's had some drops here and there. And his camp is fine, but it's not George has just really stood out. And so I would imagine, especially early in the season, that most of the attention is going to go his way. And which is great for Javonte Williams too. Jake Ferguson, Ryan Flanoy. See, that's the thing about Flanoy too, is that there's some quarterbacks that they would just be like, oh, I got Pickens and I got CD, I'm just going to lock in on them, and then Flanoy, you can get the scraps. Like Dak Prescott has shown in his career that if you have the best matchup, he trusts you, he will throw to you. And we've seen that in practices, whether it be against the Rams, whether it be ones versus ones out here. Like, he trusts Flanoy a lot. So
I have a theory.
He could be a huge beneficiary of that too.
I have a theory. Don't kill me. If Cam Brown keeps playing, I don't know how, but at some point he's gonna get on the football field in regular season games.
Yeah, he's just in a tough spot, because I think
very tough.
There's a lot of people that
I know, Sky. I know. Still, talk to me, Sky.
I think there's a lot of people that are forgetting.
That's why you got.
Now we going 5 wide.
You should have came to me before we came on here with this, bro. Y'all talked you off that ledge right there.
Yeah,
let's go 5 wide all game. We don't even need a running back. Let's go. Let's go Baylor. Let's go Baylor, Scott. Okay. I'm sorry, John. We just have
I was just gonna say. I mean, and you can't forget about Turpin either. I mean, he's gonna be part of the offense.
Turpin has been good these last 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, and then Jake Ferguson's gonna be part of the offense too. So it's like, I don't know. It's it might be tough for Camden Brown, but that could also be a good problem to have, because if you get an injury to one of these receivers and they have to miss a little bit of time, you probably feel pretty good about what this kid could bring in a limited, time. So it's a good problem to have. I just don't know if there'll be enough snaps because of the other guys they have.
There absolutely will not be unless there's injury.
Yeah.
Foot.
So quit asking.
Quit asking.
But John, you know what it is? I went back and watched that game, John. Just we have nothing on yet, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll have Monday night, we'll have everything. Brother, he looks like an NFL receiver. Like,
don't he play hungry, yo?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Sky? Like, really and truthfully, like he was blocking Sky, throwing his body around in the run game.
Around trying, special teams as well. He was out there moving on special teams trying. He's one of those things where you get into the meeting room and you're thinking about the season, like, all right, we got to develop a guy that we can develop, might not play a lot this year. We got another guy who has low experience. He's been around for a while. Fight it out, because the staff is going to have to fight that thing. I'm not saying this is going to happen. They can carry both, but he's one of those situations where I don't think it's going to be a cut and dry situation, with whoever may be in front of him to make this team, because he has so much potential that he's shown both in the preseason and that training camp that he's almost worth just carrying to keep around to develop and not risk. Even if he's not going to play that much this year, or if at all, he's almost worth it because of the potential he's shown. And that hardly happens. We see some guys that can't make a play here and there. It seems like, John, you could tell us every damn day Cam Brown is just standing out at something. And then he's getting work with the ones. This ain't Dennis Houston, y'all.
No, he's better than all those guys, the John Bay Johnson. So a lot of those guys had good days at practice, some of which it would be, those first few practices where there were no pads on, or then there's other receivers that would stand out once the pads did come on. The other thing that sometimes they would get overrated, some of those other receivers, a lot of one-on-one drills that Jason Garrett would like to do, whereas we actually had him today, but that's not a huge thing with Brian Schottenheimer practices. And then there's ones that just show up on actual game days. And that's what, Cam Brown's done it on all those levels. So no, he's absolutely for real. I would be shocked if he wasn't on the roster.
He make another one of them. What the young boys do this now, Foots, where the head tap with it, Marsh. I learned that from my son. I didn't even know that what they did, bro. I saw one of my son's friends, Marston, we was throwing the ball around outside. They all start tapping their head. I said, "What you got some weed, boy?" Nah, that's what we do. Then
Hey,
cool. If he make one more, John, he gonna need one of them Vuori caps. Put the ball cap on him. We don't need to see no more.
All right, because I always think a lot, not all of it, but I think a lot of these celebration stuff start out younger, and then work their way up to the pros and stuff like that. What about my man the other day? If the kids start doing this, we're all in trouble. What's that receiver's name that he played in North Carolina? God, I can't think of his name now. Big receiver. He played with he just scored a touchdown the other day. And this celebration, man, I can't even tell you the celebration. It was so ridiculous. Like, I'm surprised you guys haven't seen it on social media. He was basically waving his junk,
Oh,
yes, he was running down the sidelines.
Not
Mac Brown. What is the guy's name? He's a bigger wide receiver. What's it?
You said it's not Mac Brown?
Is it
Mac Hollins?
Mac Hollins.
Yeah, that's it.
Mac Hollins.
That's it.
Okay.
He's strange. He's a strange guy. Walks around with no shoes on.
No shoe. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. You wave your junk in the league, you can kiss your check goodbye. I'm telling you that now.
Well, remember Marshawn Lynch?
That was crazy.
If you look up Mac Hollins' touchdown from their practice the other day, ridiculous. If you just search his name right now, I guarantee you it's that. What else is
first thing that comes up? Yeah,
I'm watching it right now.
But I'm just saying, if kids start doing that, these refs are gonna have their. Oh man,
it's gonna be a mess. John and Scott threw the perfect layup.
It's happening. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna go to one of these high school games and somebody gonna do this stupid ass.
That kid's getting thrown out of the game.
Let me tell you something. You got kids 8U, 9U humping the ground. Go to a South Florida football game. They out of
Yeah.
control. That's what they do. I'm just like,
Man, what's up with these?
they cursing. I don't care what nobody say. People say I will never be okay with kids chanting curse words. I just don't. That's just me. You know what I mean? But Sky, you said something when I got a little too excited about Cam. You said, well, slow down, Foots. That's what you do. You talk me off the ledge, Sky. So you talking off the ledge. Let's talk through some players who might be talking their way out of here. And I got one. Actually, I got two. I think Von Miller went ahead and signed 2 checks on out of here.
Two.
Who that? Okay, well, let me say this. Number one, people, and I've heard this from a few people that I trust, brother, they like Malachi Lawrence, and he's going to play and get reps. He's your first-round pick, so
yeah.
Like,
I already know the name you're going to say. It's I would, and I agree with that without you even knowing what you're going to say. I agree with the person you're going to say.
Okay, bet. So the name I'm going to say is it's not looking good for Maris, especially bringing in especially bringing in. You were going to say Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to
go. Maris brings those were the two more in some other areas, but no, I mean he's on the bubble too for sure.
But okay, and the reason why I said this too, John, is because you saying what you said about Vaughn. They're going to find snaps for Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
James Houston is safe. Malachi safe. They love Rashawn Gary. Bro, Michael Irvin was raving about Rashawn Gary and who he is.
Yeah, he's starting.
Yeah, he's a starter. Yeah.
Yeah, you
so
got to keep an extra.
How do we find how do we justify bringing back either one of these two?
Well, because you have to have an extra edge rusher for if Azaraku gets thrown out of a game, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to ban these people. Where are my mods at? I'm sorry. I do too much.
But no, I don't see Sam Williams and bless you, Maris Leofau making the team. Okay. So I think one does, but I the addition of
you know why I said one doesn't.
Somebody up.
And not to cut you off, Chad. I'm sorry. We worked on not cutting each other off.
No, you're good.
Please stop crying. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem is this, Sky. Now they can use 55 in different ways. Like, what's his name? He was raving about Barm. Like, they love Jaysean Barm. So, like, what if there's a world still year one where on first and second down, I'm not saying they need to do this, but what if there's reps where, hey, just go get the quarterback 55? Like, and I think I want him doing that over Marist. I 100%. Would think. So that's just me.
No, yeah. I agree with both of you guys. They're in the sense that they're fighting for the roster spot. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to put it. You bring in Von Miller because you needed extra help. And now it's just a matter of perspective and preference, I should say. Do you prefer a guy in Maris who can moonlight at different spots? And he shouldn't really have to be a moonlighter because he's supposed to be an inside linebacker. But I've talked about it ad nauseum at this point. I don't think he necessarily fits what they want from that position full time. So that's why they bumped him out. To think about bumping him out, all right, bet. If he's just going to purely get after the quarterback, run, rush the passer, do some stunts, blitz from depth, awesome. Drop back a little bit, awesome. But if he has to go out there and he has to set the edge at the line of scrimmage against tackles down and down out, probably not what you want to do with him. I don't think he's going to be able to do that well. And he's a special teams guy. So you have all those things you take into account. With Sam does some special teams things too. You know, he's had some blocks. He's had some big plays in his career as special teams. Sam gives you more as a pass rusher, but take that with a grain of salt, by the way. It's not like he gives you a whole lot, but he is a legitimate pass rusher. He's a bigger body. I think he's going to be better against the run than Maris Leofau will be. So it's probably a break the broomstick and throw it in the room over these next 2 games. I don't think either are a lock now that they brought in Von Miller, but I do think you have to sign one. And shouts out to John because he said something very interesting. John Owning, excuse me. If you're looking at pure outside linebacker edge, Isaiah Land probably makes more sense than both of them. Land is probably a better pass rusher than Sam. Land does everything on the outside linebacker better than Amaris, but it's Isaiah Land. You know what I'm saying? So he's got an uphill battle. But yeah, there's no lock after 5.
That's a good thing, though. John, I mean, for the overall team, obviously not for the players, it's not good, but for the overall team, because I don't know, coming into camp before the Von Miller trade, I was looking at like, man, that's pretty thin at edge rusher. I mean, you still could probably add another guy, but I don't know.
I think in those closeout situations and in certain moments, you're gonna want Vaughn on the field. If nothing else, he knows how to get, walk guys back. I saw, somebody brought this up, and Scott, maybe you want to speak to this. He's pretty decent versus the run now. Like this guy is not. I was actually really surprised, and I just can't. I can't get over the fact that we have Quinnen Williams, who, by the way, he's good, man. I was gonna ask you, John, where would you rank him? It was with your best at camp. Would it be Quinnen and GP?
That's a good one. I would say. Hold on.
Sorry to jump all around. But.
George for sure is 1 for me. I mean, Tyler Smith. Yeah, probably Quinnen is probably 2. Rashawn Gary is in my top 5. Let's see. Yeah, that would probably be it.
Okay.
But yeah, Gary would be in there too, man. I'm telling you. Rashawn Gary also has that I treat practices like games mentality.
Bro,
so it's like easy
without
to
pads.
Yeah. He's fun to watch, but I'm sure he's not fun to go against in practice, especially if you're having a bad day, like you're one of these tackles and you're not really, and it's a walkthrough or something. He's probably not the guy you want to go against. He takes all of it real serious.
The very first day, he just was bullying Terrence. And I was like, God damn, they even got pads on it. He out there playing, trying to take dudes' heads off. I said, we need that.
Yeah, I'm glad it's them and not me.
Michael Irvin said, in Michael Irvin fashion, I mean, when you talk to this guy and he hugs you, it's like a brick. I mean, serious. Just like I hugged a brick wall.
That's what he said.
That, bro. Just
about
Rashawn
Gary.
About Rashawn Gary. I mean,
bro, he's like he's the size of he's the size of a undersized 3 tech.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, by the way, Sky, Cody made a great point. If you start getting some bad guards now, and you want to kick Vaughn out and kick him inside, and you want to just get speed out there, because he's, like you said, he's not gonna give up much in the physical part of it. I think that's pretty cool.
So, are you saying like on passing downs, you go with him, Quinnen in the middle, and then
Gary at 3, Ezaraku and Vaughn? That'd be a good package.
I'd make it like an amoeba type of defense then, where the only person his hand in the ground is Quinnen. I'd have to go look at the film to see his hand in the dirt in between the tackles, like in the A gap, B gap. You know what I'm saying? That's a different ask for him. I still think I want him getting some momentum, having some space to operate with. So if you stand him up, think about that. If you got Quinnen just down and 3 other guys, we're 4 standing up, and those are your guys, is Rashawn, Von Miller, Ezaraku, or Lawrence. That's fun.
I'm a traditional 4-3 guy. I like the 4-3. I like 4-3 defensive ends. 2 defensive tackles. That's what I'm more of a fan of. But obviously, there's a lot of success that 3-4s have. So I'm bringing this up to ask you guys. So for me, the only outside linebacker that I really like out of those 4 dropping into coverage is probably Lawrence, and he's got a way to go. I guess Ezaraku would be fine too, but like I really don't want Rashawn Gary or Von Miller dropping back ever. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
Rashawn Gary has ever. I said this jokingly. I swear he might have dropped back more times in camp in the first week than he has in his entire career. Like, he does not drop back because that's not, again, he's a freaking defensive tackle in size. Okay. Not saying that he can't go get to a spot and handle his responsibilities, but I promise you, if he dropped back enough, they'll target him in that way. So I don't think that's the case. Ezaraku did a good bit of it a little bit at Boston College, because they had him moonlighting as an inside linebacker sometimes. It was interesting to see. I don't want to see.
I think Lawrence can do it. He had a busted coverage early in camp that left Jaden Blue wide open, and you could tell, like when you watch the replay of it, you're just like, oh yeah, that was. And then when he went to the sideline, you could see Christian Parker talking to him, like just explaining, like, hey, yeah, on this play you got to do that, whatever. But athletically, size, his age, all of that. Obviously, you don't want him doing it all the time, but I think Lawrence could handle it.
So he has the athletic ability to do it, but I don't know if he has the mental fortitude just yet.
Right.
I watched him against us. It was 11-on-11 against us. I think it was a couple plays where they had him dropping back, and they just pretty much picked on him. They just sent two dudes. This is the problem with a rookie. They literally sent two dudes in this area, and he didn't know what to do. Kind of got stuck in no man's land. Wide open, Jake Ferguson, huge play. And just imagine that in practice where a little bit of the tempo. You get into a game. Well, guess what? Hurry up offense now. Now you stuck out there, and you got to deal with Gibbs, and we ain't got to play. You know what I mean? So, and now that you bring it up, John, damn it. Yeah, I don't know that there's a ton. Now, that's where Maris comes into play, right? Yeah. That's what we talked about, a guy that feels more comfortable dropping back than those other guys, but he's never going to get on the field, barring injury, I think, to do that. Barham is another one that's probably going to have to do some of that too, and he's played linebacker, so maybe he's the guy that you feel comfortable. But it's a good point, and they have been dropping him. They've been dropping him in camp, so you better be able to do it.
Right.
I'll tell y'all this. Early returns on your first 3 picks. Check. Like it's looking like you hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Scott? Like we're talking about Barham like he needs to play. And I'm thinking that there may be a real linebacker rotation. They want him to go out there and man the middle. And Shotty talked about it today, how he filled the gap against the Saints. Like Shotty, when he does that, when that, the recall Scott, when he starts talking about those plays, best believe he in the meeting room like, hey, Scott Simon, get 55 ready to go. He need to know the calls because he just brings an imposing look that they want, and they struck gold in their first 3 picks. I mean,
will we see him this weekend, John?
I believe so. I mean, he did enough today where I would think, like, because that was kind of part of it. What does he do today in this practice? Like, if they were kind of babying him, I was going to be like, oh, maybe they still think he's a week away, but he did enough today to make me think he at least gets a series or 2. So yeah, I think he will play. I'm a little bit more up in the air though about Caleb Downs. I'm not for certain if he'll play.
I don't
that first game might have been it for him, even though it was only like 6 or 7 plays. I don't know about Caleb Downs. I don't know about Savone Ravel. Outside of that, I think a lot of the guys that played the first one can play again. Just those are the only 2 that I have my doubts.
I came into this camp thinking give him all the reps, but he's had such a good camp. Savone Revel.
Yeah.
I might be there. I might be okay. And he played in the preseason and he did well. And I think we might be cool. Now, I wouldn't mind a series. Also, I wouldn't mind a series.
I also love though that he gets to go against George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb in practice.
There you go.
Time, and that's tough to.
That's probably better than any preseason work.
It's better than going up against Bobo.
Are they already being covered? All right, why don't you go over there and get Ryan Flanoy? I mean, it's like he's got.
Go get Camden Brown.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know what though, John? In all seriousness, John, still the same thing that you just said about Revel, I can literally use that for Downs. And like as fast as they snatched him, it's like they'll probably do the exact same thing. And it's so, and I bet you that came from the head honcho, well, your defensive coordinator, like, we're good. He knows the flow. It just get him. Because I'll say this, one thing about Caleb that I'm so impressed with, Sky, you notice the coach in me. He's been at every practice, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
He's been at every practice. It hasn't been. I think with rookies, it's so much of like, can you just make it? We're looking at Mekhi Lemon. He can't even get on the field. Starting behind the 8 ball as a rookie is tough. And these guys have been out there practicing. So I just think that I'm cool. You know what I mean? The work that they're going to get and the way that they're trying to coach it up, I feel like it's good. Let's get to these supers and we'll get on out of here.
Caleb, man, he's going to be too important to this.
It's funny. There you go. So today I talked to Will McClay for a little bit for like a story I'm working on. And when I was asking about Caleb, how Will's like I was saying about Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, they hate doing comparisons because they know people bring it up. But he's like, man, I don't even want to say this, but like the way Caleb is, reminds me of like Dak when he was that age, the way he goes about his business, how serious minded he is, and all of that stuff. And I think of that because of kind of what you just said about the professionalism, or it's like, I'm not taking a practice off. I'm not coming out because of this injury or this thing or whatever. The thing with him, I wonder though, like, cause there are some reps where he'll be in the slot that I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos where like some receivers, might make a catch on whatever. And so maybe that part of his game takes like a little bit to whatever, but where I think that you're going to see him immediately impress is the stuff at the line of scrimmage, like coming up and stopping the run, bringing him on blitzes, like the variety of things you can do with him that they're not going to show us a ton of that out here, but you just see little glimpses and you're just like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's going on. Like he's not coming off the field.
They have not shown any of it in camp from the tape I've seen, the film show. if you listen to what Shotty said after he was drafted, one of the first things he said, yeah, he's going to be blitzing from the B gap, the C gap, the A gap. He ain't done that, I don't think, one time. I think he did. He did a slot blitz.
They do not want me putting that video out there. That would get so much traction if that happened.
They did. Oh.
Let me say this. And look, whatever, Will, you drinking the Kool-Aid on? Yep, I am overhyping Caleb Downs, and if it don't work out, to come back and throw an egg on my face.
I mean, they're all behind the scenes. Everybody in the organization is too, though. You're not alone on this. Like,
oh no, but I'm probably alone on what I'm about to say. This is why I said this. He has the makings of a Troy Polamalu type to me.
Yeah,
like his play style, and that's exactly how I would play him. Troy was every goddamn where. He was back deep. Show. He was at the line. He was blitzing. He was fading.
So don't you think he's a little bit bigger? Because I think of Ed Reed. But
it's not a bad comp either.
Like I think of Polamalu.
Hey, John, you see Ed? I say we get in the show right now.
Well, no, but I mean, a guy that like I love those clips of like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady talking about how he would be back there playing games with them. These guys that were known for the mental side of the game because they were playing for 15, 20 years as franchise quarterbacks, and he would do things and mess with them. And that's where I could see Caleb. Again, now here's the thing too, people need to remember, there are going to be some rookie hiccups, or a play here or there. I'm talking about like in the long haul, like what you possibly have here. As long as he stays healthy, I mean, this should be, a perennial like Pro Bowl type player.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't think Ed Reed is because Ed is not a line of scrimmage guy. Like he's not.
That's fair.
Troy is
more deep.
Troy will have games where he could live, in that box and be a freaking problem. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with Caleb so far. But me, Foots, and I've said it here, John. I want to see him live on the roof. I want to see him operate back there because much like Christian Parker, I was talking about being in the booth. Feel like if the further away from the line of scrimmage as well and more time he plays in the league, he's going to see the game so much easier and faster and be able to make things better for guys in front of him and make plays. But right now, he's a chess piece. Use him like Troy, man. Troy was a problem everywhere on that field.
Sky, first of all, Sky, when John says you're not alone, I listened to Adam Schefter. He went into great detail on his pod about what people are saying in the org about Caleb. Like this is real. This is real. This is like Micah. This is like he's just a different type. And this is what I was gonna say, Scott, to kind of cap it. He has the rare ability to play here, and this matches the skill set. Because a lot of guys, they're very smart. But what do we normally say about like smart players? Well, he's kind of limited, but he's really smart. You know what I mean? Like, nah. Like Caleb is really smart. And he's not limited athletically. If you want to pick on his height, that's fine. I think that's so lazy, especially like when I'm watching football players, because like if you look at his lower half, he's a tank, bro. Like he's going to meet
Barney's legs, yeah.
Bro, like
Barry Sanders and type quads, yeah.
He is like honestly the prototypical football player. What's gonna happen is once he starts to hit these receivers and once he starts to hit these running backs, they'll know where 13 is. Trust me on that. Yeah. That's what he's done wherever he's at. And so
Caleb's going to lead the secondary sacks this year.
But the one guy for me though, just because you guys mentioned other people and the way that they think of them, the other one for me is definitely the Nick Saban, and not just in one interview. It's any interview Nick Saban has given and talking about Caleb Downs over the last 6 months. I've not heard him talk about another player like that. 2, I've never heard him talk about another one of his own players. And 3, I've never heard him talk really about another defensive back, which that is Nick Saban's area, specialty. That's what got him into football, is being, that back half coach. And that's what he specializes in, the defensive backs. And the way he praises Caleb Downs and his mind and everything, that was more than enough for me. So, anybody can think we're overhyping him. And like I said, there's going to be some plays that are bad plays, whatever, it's going to happen. But I mean, barring injury, I think he's going to have an outstanding career.
John, you've been at camp. It was one thing before camp. Maybe he didn't make it through a few practices. Maybe he's getting beat consistently. The play he had against CD early in camp, like, come on, bro. Like, that is vet stuff. Rookie DBs get beat by CD Lamb there. You just do.
It's funny you say that. When he got drafted, I was like, man, he feels like a veteran when he's playing. This was college tape I was watching. But then he gets to the pros and he feels like a vet. When we talk about, these young standouts and stuff, I kind of really forget about Caleb because he doesn't act like some young dude. It feels like he's been here. He said, Coach Shotty, come on, run these gassers with us, man. Let's go ahead. He just feels like a veteran, moves like a veteran, acts like a veteran. And I think he's going to play that way. So, there's some people that might say, well, that caps his ceiling. I don't believe so. I think with Christian Parker here, that's going to actually raise it. They say high floor type of thing with Caleb because he don't believe he didn't run the 40. He's not the biggest size and things, but he plays a position where this matters more. I'm not saying you can't be the slowest person in the world. You have to be the slowest person in the world and you're going to be great. No, but Caleb Downs is athletic and he's smart as all get out and he plays a position that rewards that. It's going to be a beast, man.
Yeah, man. Nah, I told y'all this. I don't get tired of talking about this kid. We can do a whole show on this kid. I really don't. Because this is what we have. Me and Sky literally, we're almost 6-7 years in doing draft shows, John. Safety. I mean, we've been talking about Taylor Rapp. I don't get tired of talking about this kid. Let's get to these supers. It's going to hurt me to see Pick leave us this offseason. He's a dog mentality dude. Let's not talk like that. The truth. Let's live in this moment. Thank you for the $5. So I don't want to live in this moment.
As long as Jerry Jones is around, I don't see him going anywhere, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. If he does what John was just talking about and goes for 14 or whatever,
Jerry's not letting that guy leave.
There you go.
Jerry still hates that he gave up, that he didn't draft Randy Moss. So he still brings that up. So no, he ain't gonna. He's not going anywhere.
Are we sure we want to isolate Downs on slot receivers? I want to do exactly what Scott said. Let him do it all. He's entering that. And yes, I think that, like, you guys have to understand, stop watching these clips are really good, by the way. When the rush is there, when you start mixing coverages, they're going to play a lot of match. They're going to do things. Caleb is going to be fine. He's going to know where the leverage is coverage-wise, to where it's not like you're just going to have these, Scott, these jokers out there for 7 seconds running these wacky routes. That's not happening.
I can care less about one-on-ones there. When you're playing in the slot, you're not playing one-on-one with anybody around you. So unless there's like a last second motion where the one turns into the two, and then now the two runs some type of quick out or something, then you're solo over there. But for the most part, you're dealing with some type of traffic around you, anywhere between 10 yards and in. Now, once you start running deep, that's different. But yeah, his Achilles, if you want to call it that, might be those super duper quick twitchy slots that used to exist on every team. It felt like back in the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady era. Now a lot of big slots. And, if that's how you're going to be, I think Caleb can handle that fine. But I'm not. I think they have a deep enough room to where they can decide, all right, you know what? Maybe it's best we put Durant in the slot this game. Maybe it's best it's going to be Caleb. Like, I don't think it's going to be Caleb Downs every single play. I think Durant makes sense too.
Sky, I cannot wait. I know we got to go. And shout out to 10K. We went a little bit longer for you guys. We thank you for Sky. I cannot wait to see CP game plan. That's a great point. I'm going to write that down. Like, how does he game plan this week? Do they have a strong, like, you know what I mean? And like, does he want to take away certain things and make you play left-handed? You can do that, bro. Especially with like Durant playing as well. It's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. Like, did you get all these guys on the field?
People get mad when I say this, or we try to. There feels like there's some Belichick to Christian Parker, and what I mean by that is Belichick operated in his prime and in the Patriots' prime. He operated week to week. 1 week, the motherfucker had a wide receiver. Yeah, he had a wide receiver playing cornerback at one point, and Troy Brown doing things right. And another time, he's taking advantage of the rules. Another time, he's playing a 4-3 this game, and another game it's the 3-4 base, and another game it's the double in it. I don't think because Caleb is so locked in. Christian Parker's so locked in, and his mind spins that way, and he's got pieces to move around. I can definitely see this thing being a week-to-week base with him, and that's why he's hammering home communication. You have to be able to communicate because we're going to be doing things that are going to be tripping up that side of the ball. We don't need you guys to be tripped up.
Absolutely. And High as a Cloud says, yes, we want Downs in the slot. So he answered. That's really good.
Shout out to the what?
John, can you speak on BB? This will be really quick, John. I know you.
Yeah, no. I think he's been solid from what I've seen, and from just our brief time talking to the coaches, they like what they've seen from him. I can't think of who was mic'd up recently. Might have been Clayton Adams. I don't know, but you can just tell that the coaches like the step that he's taken. obviously making that transition from guard a year ago to center. So, yeah, I don't hear anything. I haven't heard any questions about him doing that. I think you'd have way more questions if he was to go out of the game, because they have some serious questions on who that backup center would be. I mean, it most likely would be TJ Bass, but that's not a natural fit there either. I think they'd rather him be a guard. I mean, TJ Bass played tackle in college. So, yeah, no, BB's been good. I haven't heard anything bad. I haven't noticed anything. And much like we just talked about Savone Ravel, I mean, you go and practice against Kenny Clark and Quinton Williams all the time. So I don't know how you're going to get any better than that.
Yeah.
Just as a thought to me, I feel like if BB continue to take a step, would not shock me if he gets kind of a discount deal to be here for a while, because you don't want to have to deal with that center position. And the Cowboys, obviously, they started over with the whole Biadasz situation, but Biadasz was up and down. I don't think he consistently got better in the same way BB has the potential to be. So if he takes that next step, wouldn't shock me if he's a candidate, man.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Good stuff, John. John, putting in the work and your Lions fandom aside, would a Cowboys Super Bowl ring bring you any type of sports happiness? This is a great question, Brett.
It would.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the work you've done over the last 15 years. 15 years of John. And honestly, you were one of the first reports where I said, man, he's different. He's a little bit different. So, and now that we're colleagues, I just want you to know, John, you do some great work. Like, if you really think about how many people you feed just with your videos alone, bro, don't take this dude for granted on this screen, y'all. I mean, think about the nuggets he gave us earlier in the show. John, we do appreciate you, bro. And would this bring you happiness?
Well, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it would bring me for sure. I mean, I think it would have brought me happiness, the first year I was covering the team, but every year that goes by, I mean, obviously it would be great for business, it'd be great for our show. But I'm a huge fan of a lot of people that work in the organization. I mean, Will McClay, I would love to see Will McClay get a ring. I would love to see a lot of people. I know you guys don't want to talk about people in the Jones family that you probably don't want to hear about, but there's a lot of people that I would be happy for. And then I've just met a lot of Cowboys fans, so living in Dallas and things like that. And I believe that, the fan base deserves better than what they've had. I mean, like, if they were trying to complaining that they haven't been to a Super Bowl in 5 years, that'd be different. But 30 years for the investment that so many fans have that didn't even get to see the last Super Bowl. Oh yeah, no, it would bring me a lot of happiness for sure. I mean, probably not as much as the Lions, but no. I say that though about the Lions because if you're from Detroit, it just sounds so ridiculous because you're just like, oh, that's never going to happen. So that's the only reason why I say that.
Scott, you were going to say something.
I forget it. It was about what he's doing right now, John, that is with the videos. But I think his real value comes during the season where we don't have the access to these videos. We don't have access inside the store. We don't have access in the locker room. And yes, we hear his questions afterwards, but there's things, and I learned just a little bit I was down there around John and these reporters. There's things that happen outside of what we see on those cameras that is very interesting to say the least. Some of it you can't really report. Some of it at least gives you an idea, a better understanding of. And John, I think, does a great job articulating that without stepping on people's toes. And so that's where the real value comes, y'all. So y'all just wait.
Yeah, no, if you're not locked in with the Cowboys Collective, you get so many gems in that way. The last one is, this one is pretty cool. Love the podcast and congrats on 10K. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for
rocking. I like that picture she's got.
Man, I'm so thankful. John, I still remember waking up to that message from Adam Schefter that he's it was Ricky first, that he is a Cowboy, like that this is real. It was like Christmas. Ralph 707 says, Foots, can you please give my brother Rick a shout out? He's your favorite. You're his favorite podcast. Thank you, man. Listen, Rick, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with these brothers on the screen. These guys are my favorites. I know everybody in the chat probably has their favorite. So, but in all senses, Rick, hey man, you guys keep us going because trust me, there are times when I'm texting Sky like, Sky, I don't got it today. These folks killing me. And Sky said, well, nah, Foots, just take it from this angle or like look at it from this angle think about it from this angle. So It's listen, trust me, this wears on us sometimes because we gotta come and make sure that it makes sense. Because if we don't, what they gonna do, Scott? They got a clip loaded for.
Hey, Rick might not with me, so you can't say, he might not like me, but shouts out to you, Rick, man. Appreciate you checking out the show.
Hey, real quick, just because you said the thing about Pickens. If it wasn't Pickens, might possibly have been Rashad Bateman. So
yeah.
I think
that they're happy with what happened.
You said that before.
Shouldn't even have been he should have been a super backup plan. But anyway,
yeah.
Do not give me Bateman over Rick over
Pickens. That would be crazy.
Over Pickens. All right, y'all. Hey, what an amazing show, Vach. Can't wait to get you back. Get some rest. You killed it out there with the Crown Globals and with the Vach Lombardis. Oh, make sure you guys subscribe to John's YouTube channel. He's doing breakdowns over there as well.
Yeah, please do.
It's John
Machota. Machota. No H in John.
No H in John. We got Durag Sky today. You guys got Foots. I wasn't on time, so I guess that's me being me. So, but in all seriousness, we love you guys, and we will see you all next one. If y'all see me in person, I'll really slap y'all. Not you, Rick, but everybody else.
Not Rick.